Just a tiny little bit about me. I worked for Fletcher Music for on and off for, I don't know, maybe 10 plus years. And prior to that, I had my own store. And uh, we have a lot of fun making music. Now, what happened was uh, I decided to retire and asked Fletcher Music if I could work part time. And they said, no, you can't. I said, okay, that's fine. See you again sometime. And then about 2 months ago, I got this most wonderful phone call from Sean who said, hey, Bart, how'd you like to come to work part time at Fletcher Music? And I said, I'd love to. So here I am, having a good time. Of course, I wouldn't be having a good time if I wasn't looking at these wonderful smiles. You guys look great. You really do. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is playing by ear. Now, there is a handout for this. Some of you may have it printed already. If not, make sure you get that printed because it's going to reinforce what we have spoken about. If you've already printed it, a workshop is called Anyone Can Play by Ear. How do I know I'm an anyone? Okay? Now, the reason that's important is because people say, oh, I could never play by ear. You have to be really special to play by ear. Well, that's not true. If you can hear a wrong note, you can play by ear. Let me illustrate. If I play this song, what is it? What song is that? Happy Birthday. I'm reading
Happy
lips.
birthday
Happy
to
birthday
you.
is right.
Happy birthday.
Now, how do you know that's happy birthday? I can't see it. You can't see the music. You just know the tune, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. So we want to convert that listening by ear into playing by ear. Now, let me change this song a little bit and tell me what you hear.
Not a tune.
What did you
Yikes.
hear?
I had
Ouch.
more than the wrong note.
Wrong notes?
Terrible.
Didn't you hear any right notes?
No.
A
Hey,
Didn't
few.
hear any. There was okay. There was a few. That's good. And that's what happens with all of us when we start playing by ear. Is we hear a few right notes, but maybe a lot of wrong notes. Does that mean we give up? No. Do you have to have a special amount of patience to learn to play by ear? No. Any more patience than you have to learn how to play solitaire or learn how to do a crossword puzzle. You do a little bit at a time, and as you do a little bit at a time, you revel in that little bit of success. Now, there's two kinds of ear players. There's an ear player that can play any style of music for any genre, any decade, and anytime you ask them to do it, they just sit down and play. Have you ever known anybody like that? I have. Those people make me sick. They sit down and play anything, anytime, whenever they want, and it's just, I can't do that. But number two, I can do. Those, the second kind of ear player, those who simply try finding a single note melody and gradually adding chords. Okay? So let's talk about finding a single note melody. Now, one of the things that I do to help me do that is I slowly play a C scale. And I've got a song in mind that I want to play. I don't know where I want to start it, but I think I'm going to hear it if I keep playing the C scale. Now, why am I playing a C scale? Because there's no black keys. And some people think, well, playing black keys is really hard. Well, there are people who learn to play without a teacher and they learn to play black keys and it's not hard for them. For example, some people who play black keys think this is much easier than it is to try to do it on the white keys. Okay, so white keys doesn't necessarily make it easier, but we have a mindset that it does. That's why all of our easy play song books are in C, G, or F most of the time, because we like playing no black keys. Okay, so we're going to use that comfortable feeling of playing no black keys by listening to the C scale. And while I'm playing that C scale, I'm listening for a note that's going to work with the song I want to play. You see what I did?
What did you do?
I found that note that worked with that song. I heard the surrounding notes when I played the C scale up and down, just listening to that C scale, and I was able to find that note, find that song. Now, did I hit some wrong notes? Yes. Did you notice that when I hit the wrong notes, I tried to get off them quickly? That's an important thing to do. You know, people so often, when they make mistakes playing, they stop and correct their mistake. And when you do that, it's like raising your hand and saying, "Hey, I just made a mistake. Pay attention to me. I'm really bad." So instead of doing that, when you hit a mistake, keep the song going. Some of you know the Lowry artist Dennis Ah. One of the things that he used to love to do, and I loved watching him do it, is he'd play a song and hit a wrong note and turn and smile at the audience. He'd keep playing the song because he didn't want to stop because it was a wrong note, and he'd come to the same part and hit that wrong note again and turn and smile at the audience. I think he was trying to find out if we were paying attention. The point is, if you keep the song going, it detracts from the wrong notes. Okay? In fact, wrong notes are good because they can be the door or the window or whatever it is you get into the house with to improvisation.
Ooh.
Wrong notes can be the door, the key, the window of improvisation. But you're not going to know about that unless you hit some wrong notes. So instead of feeling bad about wrong notes, revel in those wrong notes. And you'll find some good things happen to your playing. Okay, so let's continue here. Now, I'm going to try playing a 2-chord song. And if you use AOC, and of course the easy button, you can now listen to those notes that are being played, and you can see if it's time to change a chord or not. Now we're starting off with 2-chord songs, and I've put a bunch of them in there. As you can see, Jambalaya, Achy Breaky Heart, Day-O, Day-Day-O, the Banana Boat song, Deep in the Heart of Texas, Hokey Pokey, Paperback Writer. That Beatles song, Paperback Writer? I didn't know that was a 2-chord song, but it is. And A Waltz Across Texas. So let's try listening to the chord changes and see what I should be doing with Jambalaya. Now, did you hear those chord changes? Those chord changes had to be made because when they didn't, it didn't sound right. It just felt uncomfortable. It's kind of like if you do this and you don't do this. It just leaves you uncomfortable. And I mean, we can sit here and we can explain how there's different chord theory, and you know, if you understand the circle of fifths, and you can get a headache, and I mean, you don't need to know all that stuff. All you need to do is just listen to your playing. So we started off with the C scale, then we found the note we wanted to play, and then we added a chord by playing a 2-chord song. Let's try another 2-chord song. Let's see, Achy Breaky Heart. We know that song. So first thing I want to do is find the tune. Here we go. Oh, do you feel that pain? Oh, gotta change the chord. Now, by the way, I need to tell you, I'm playing these songs in the key of C. Those are the, all the white keys. And I am playing either a C or a G seventh chord,
Because these are only 2-chord songs, right?
because these are only 2-chord songs.
Ah.
Okay. Now, what's really interesting is when you play a G, if you get in the habit of always making it a G seventh, it sounds better. Listen to this. Now, there's a G. Here's a G seventh. Doesn't that sound nice? The G, the G seventh. You hear that difference? That's lovely. Okay. Okay, let's try one more 2-chord song, and I hope you'll try all of these. Deo. You heard that wrong chord quickly with the left hand? Didn't stop, just moved on to play the right chord. Okay? Any questions?
Any questions so far? Hopefully this makes sense. You can see him just kind of trying to figure it out with his right hand first, followed by the chord hand afterward.
Yep. Does that make sense? You know, some people say, well, it's so simple. Well, yeah, it is simple when you know how to approach it. Now, what's neat about this playing by ear thing is when you hit the right melody note and then hit the right chord and you've got AOC harmony playing, it's, for lack of a better word, it's a rush. In fact, the way I like to explain it, it's like a spiritual experience. How do you explain a spiritual experience? That's like trying to explain salt. How do you explain salt? Well, it tastes salty. Well, when you hit that right note, it's like a spiritual experience. It's just a, and I'm not being sarcastic, because I don't know the words to use. It's just a really fun feeling when you hit that right chord and the right melody note, and you continue to play that song. Now remember, when you first get started, you're going to hit lots of wrong notes. The wrong notes don't matter. The right notes matter. Okay?
Okay, we got a question from Bev. Go ahead, Bev.
Bev?
I'll ask you to unmute yourself.
Thank
There
you.
you
I
are.
forgot to unmute.
That's okay.
Do you find it easier to go all the way through with the right hand, then come back and do the chords, or are you doing it at the same time?
Well, when you first get started, yes, you want to do the right hand first. You want to find that melody first. But you know what? When you add the left hand and you're only playing a 2-chord song, and in a moment we're going to do 3-chord songs, actually that can help you find the right note with the right hand too.
Oh,
So, but yes, most likely you're going to start with the right hand melody only and then add the chords to it. But sometimes you'll find as you get more used to it, doing it together is helpful.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all, folks. Okay.
That's all the questions so far. You may proceed.
All right. So, another thing we can do here is try playing with a simple recorded song that ends with C. Now you may say, well, I don't know how it ends with C. I don't have the music for it. Well, listen to the song. And when they come to the last note of the song, see if it's a C. And if it's a C, then you know you're in the key of C. Now, by the way, that's not 100% true, but it's in the high 90 percentile true. The last note is the key that the song is in. Okay? So once you've found something that's in the key of C, then you're familiar enough to play that C scale. Can you hear that okay, Sean?
Can we hear it? Yeah.
Yeah. And poke around to find the right notes. So let's try playing with recorded songs, okay? I'm going to play a recorded song here, and I'm hoping you guys can't see my screen, because if you can see the name of the song, and that's going to ruin the fun of it. So Put your hand over the screen if you can read the screen. And I'm going to play the first song here. I'm going to take out the melody, and I want you to see if you can tell me what song this is. Speak up if you do hear it.
So we're recognizing it by the chords?
Recognizing it by the chords. What song is that? Anybody know? Just raise your hand if you know what song it is. Can you show me the entire view? Do you recognize the song?
Finish eyes.
All right, I'm glad you don't recognize the song because this makes this even more fun. Okay, I'm going to start playing the first few notes of the song, and instantly you're going to know what it is. Yeah. Dun, dun.
Marianne.
Once you learn to pay attention, good guess. Once you learn to pay attention, you can hear where you are, even without them playing the melody. Now listen. Dun, 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 dun. Now watch this. That was a lot of wrong notes,
It sounded good.
but it sounded good, didn't it? You need to try this. That is fun. Play Marianne. Oh, by the way, where did I get that song? That is one of the recorded songs from the Black Lowry Songbook. And I'm sure if you contact your store manager, he can get you a copy of that. He can email it to you. If you only have a floppy disk organ, those are available too. But you'll have to work something out with the store if it's too far away for you to come on in. But we can get it to you. It's a very useful tool, the songs from the Black Lowry Songbook. So what we discovered there is we can listen to a recorded song when the melody's not being played and still hear it. I'm going to do this one more time so you can hear that melody note when it's not being played. And by the way, sometimes if you sing along, it helps. And I have to say something about singing along. Some people say, I can't sing. And some other people say, I can't play music because I can't sing.
I can't do either.
Did you know that 50% of all of the professional musicians can't sing? Yep. Some of you may remember Robert Fisher, professional musician par excellence. Writes his own songs, does all kinds of great things. But he can't sing. So my point is, singing isn't for you to have people hear you say, oh, that's so good. No, instead, singing is for you to help you find out where you are in the song while the melody's not being played. So let's try it with my my professional singing, okay?
Ooh.
Here we go. All day, all night, Marianne, down by seaside. Oh, by the way, that background really helps you know if you're playing the right notes or not, because when you play it properly, when you pause, they add extra stuff in the background. Well, if that extra stuff in the background isn't happening when you're pausing, you know you're wrong. Okay? Now, this is a fun exercise. Some people will get it quickly, some people get it slowly, but all of you can get this. Hear the melody note when it's not being played. Now I'm going to start in the middle of the song, see if I can find the melody note. Now remember, I'm an anyone. I'm not a professional play-by-ear person. I'm an anyone. See if I can find that single note melody again. Let's make up stuff now. I'm telling you, that is fun stuff.
You're jamming, man.
Oh, man, that's fun stuff. Okay, so that's learning to play by ear with a recorded song. And it's in the key of C. How do we know it's in the key of C? Because the last note is a C. 90+% of the time. Now, as you play with a simple recorded song that ends with the key C, remember to not stop and correct the wrong notes like we talked about. Wrong notes, and I love this phrase, remember it. Wrong notes can be the road to improvisation if you don't stop and pause the song. Okay? Make lots of wrong notes. Now, let's try doing 3-chord songs now, okay? This is the second handout, and some of you have it, some of you don't. Can you have it on the screen? Put it on the screen.
I'll put it on the screen here so you can see it.
What I did here about
Looks like
20
that.
years ago, before we could edit written documents, is I sat down and for these 3-chord songs that you see here, all in the key of C, I showed what the first few notes of that song is to help you. Okay? Now don't forget, these are 3-chord songs. If I'm playing 3 chords, the 3 chords are going to be C and G. G7 sounds even better. We talked about that with the 2-chord songs. And this now is going to be C, F, and G. Okay?
So what you're saying is every song in here, if you start on the C chord and you play these first notes that you wrote on the left side?
Not necessarily.
That's
Some
the beginning of
songs
the song?
don't start with a C chord.
Oh.
Sometimes they do. Most of the time they do, but sometimes they don't. For example, when the Saints Go Marching In, I don't think that started with a C chord. It started with no chord. But if you wanted to play a chord, it might be something different. I don't know. You have to try it and see. But you do start with the notes that are shown there. So for Amazing Grace, the first 3 notes are G, C, E. Okay? You can go from there. That's something that helps too. When you don't know where the next note is, play a little run to find it. It's amazing how that works. Some people even call that professional improvisation. All it is to me is trying to find the right note. Okay? So that's fun. Let's try another one. In fact, let's try it with the full organ, and let's see when it's time to change chords with the right hand. I'll play the song, you tell me. Oops. You know what? Sometimes your mind goes blank and you can't remember how a song goes. How does America go? I know that's stupid, but just like I can't remember words. How does America... Okay. Well, why do I have on those notes that I have? Oh, yeah, there it is. G, G, E. I'm sorry, I can't see through my eyes here. Yeah, there it is. Hey, we don't want any of that stuff. We just want simple background here. No rhythm.
America the Beautiful.
That's right, it is America. You notice when I got to that one little part there, I played a black key. That's because the song was written with that half a step right there. And here's the Dennis Aw smile. I hit a wrong note. So,
But that's
doesn't
okay.
matter. Wrong notes, the windows of improvisation. Okay, so what I did there is I played both hands together because I hadn't played that song for so long. I couldn't remember how it went and what chords it was. I just heard it as I went. Did some fairly good job, but there was some mistakes still. But I know if I'm going to be doing that in concert, I'll be playing that 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 plus times, and I won't do that anymore. Okay? So let's see here. Let's try this one. Now listen to the chord changes. Oh, need a chord change. G7th always sounds better than G.
Does anybody know what song this is?
Kumbaya.
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 Ah,
Yeah.
I'm asking for a friend, yes.
Yeah, I remember when people would hold up their cigarette lighters at a concert. Now they hold up their iPhones. Notice that? Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's a lot safer too. Okay, let's see. Let's try another one. Here we go. Oh, by the way, you might get tired of playing everything in the key of C. So play in the key of C, but transpose it. Okay, I just push the transpose button. People don't understand the value of transpose sometimes, and that is when you transpose to a new key, it gives a different color to the song. And again, that's trying to use words that describe what we're hearing, but it does. It gives different color to the song. And plus, if you play in C a lot and just keep playing in C, your ear might get bored or the listener might get bored. So don't be afraid to change keys every once in a while. It makes it more interesting. Now you notice on that song, I actually waited to hear the melody note tell me that I was playing the wrong chord and then change the chord. Sometimes it'll take that, and it's okay. Chord changes late don't matter. Mistakes don't matter. Any kind of mistake doesn't matter. Okay, what song was that, by the way?
I underlined it. They should know.
Ode to Joy. Well,
Ode to Joy.
That's right.
That's right. Okay.
Good job.
So
Sean.
you get the idea. Sorry? Is there a question? Okay. So you get the idea here. By laying back and having a lot of fun and letting the music carry you away, you'll find that playing by ear is very entertaining. In fact, it makes memorization of a song that much easier. If it's an easy song, I realize if you're going to be doing lots of chord changes, it's not so easy. Later on, you'll find out as I teach more classes about how you can come up with alternate chords that make your playing sound good. In fact, I'll give you one teaser right now. Whenever you play a G7th chord, If you alternate with a D minor chord, it makes the song sound like you know what you're doing. Listen. Did you hear that? Here's the C, G seventh, D minor, back to G seventh, back to C. Doesn't that sound good? And all I did was add an alternate chord, D minor, instead of the G seventh. Okay?
I like that.
All right. Any questions before I give you my final statement? You're expecting me to play, aren't you? And I wasn't planning on it, but I have a final statement, not a final song, but a final statement. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
All right, Jeanette.
When you did play with a recorded song, how did you take the melody out?
Oh, if you're using the Lowry songs, I'm glad you asked that. If you're using the Lowry songs in your music recorder section, which is generally over here on the right, there is green buttons that are labeled registration, bass, lower, and upper. If you turn the upper button off, it deletes the melody.
Okay.
Isn't that a great tool?
Thank
A
you.
lot of people don't know that there's actually a tuner built inside your Lowry organ, and that's one of the ways that it teaches you to play, by taking off that melody note and listening to the song and playing along with the song. Okay?
Thank you, Jeanette. That's a good question.
Good question. Any more? Okay, here's my final statement. If we go back to the main page, and this is going to sound goofy, but I'm telling you, it really works. I discovered this when I used to play out in front of the mall a lot. And, you know, when you play out in front, people come up to you all the time, and they say things like, oh, my brother's sister, brother-in-law's father, also plays. And then they start elaborating about this person you've never heard of, you're never going to hear about again, but you don't want to be rude and tell them to shut up. So you just sit there and you listen to them. And while you listen to them, this is what I do. Number 9 on the outline sheet is make a subconscious rather than a conscious effort. The second item is try carrying a boring conversation with someone at the same time. Don't forget to pretend to be listening. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh, uh-huh, uh-huh. You know, that kind of stuff. And it really is helpful to learn to defocus your attention when you're learning to play by ear. And if you think about this concept of defocusing while you play is really the best way to play a song without mistakes. How many of you have played a song perfectly at home, you come to the store, you play in the store, and you make mistakes? Well, the reason that is because you're paying so much attention to making sure you hit the right notes, you don't. Whereas when you're at home and you're playing, you're defocused. You may even be thinking about what you're making for dinner, and you're playing the song. So that really helps as you learn to acquire this skill of playing by ear. Learn how to defocus your attention rather than paying attention. Okay? Now
I always think about food while I'm playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you need to eat some more.
I do. Yeah.
You're too skinny compared to me. Okay, so let's see here. Or maybe watching TV at the same time. You know, so sometimes my wife loves to surf YouTube. And some of it's very interesting, but some of it's like, you know, how to bake a pie using ice cubes, you know. And I could care less. So that's when I start playing by ear, softly in the background, so she can hear about how to bake pie with ice cubes. And I'm playing the song, okay?
Can you really bake a pie with ice cubes?
You can make up anything and put it on YouTube and people will watch it.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
So that's that. Okay, John?
All right, so I'm going to give a couple of announcements. Bart's going to get a song ready to play. He's going to play sort of a fun finale tune for you just to say bye and everything. Now, we appreciate you joining us today. Hopefully you got something out of learning to play by ear, because anybody can do it. even a ding dong like Bart or myself. So he's making fun of me now.
I'm
but
sorry. I am sorry. I resemble that remark.
He resembles it. So just a couple things coming up. Check your online calendar. You got on it today, obviously, because that's how you got into the class. So good job. Keep going. Just want to show you guys a little bit about that. Just make sure you know. That's what I have up right here. That's our website. And then on the top, you found this classes and events page. Just make sure you know as you scroll down, you have different sections here. You know, sometimes people call me and say, it's not on the calendar, you know, the class today. But if you scroll down, you get more types of classes. So this second section here is for product feature classes. So this will be more pertained to your specific instrument type. So if you have an A series, EZ series, any type of Lowry or Esty instrument, that's where you'll find a class based on that. You can even look through different months if we have them set up. And I kind of made it freeze here, so that's okay. But then you have our conductor magic class for beginners. If you know anybody interested in learning music, for a limited time, we are doing a free course for them. So every Tuesday, and here's the time right here, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Every Tuesday, they can just click this button right there and join for free for a limited time. Then we have special events such as concerts and things like that at the bottom. So just make sure you're checking that out once in a while. If you're not sure when something is, just check our website or your email. But we're trying to not send so many emails, so we're going to really focus on getting you looking at the website. So thanks again for joining us. I'm going to send it back to Bart here, and he is going to play a finale tune for you. All right, here's Bart Jensen. Round of applause for Bart Jensen.
Very good. Good job. Good job. Like this.
Yeah.
Good class. Good
Thank you.
class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bart.
Adios.
There are 100 people on that
Good
class.
class, Bart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bart and Goofy.
I like that.
God bless.